Hey guys, I'm back. And if you're new here, my name is Victoria. And I'm so sorry I've been away for so long. I had some health problems, but I'm feeling a little bit better, so I was thinking, why not do a video? So today is a little bit different. I'm actually going to be going on a ghost hunt tour with U.S Ghost Adventures. They do all kinds of ghost hunts around the U.S. So we are going to be going down in Oklahoma City. Forgot to mention that, in Oklahoma City, and we're going to be going to different areas and in different sites. We're going to be hearing a little bit of the history behind these sites and some of the ghosts that are hunting these sites, guys. So by now, you guys already know the drill. Let's get to ghost hunting.
This is the Civic Center Music Hall.
Okay.
So, this was built as part of the 1930s, the New Deal administration with FDR as president.
Okay.
It wasn't until about the 90s during the renovation period that anyone started reporting anything supernatural, though. So, during the time, there were construction crews that would leave the site one way, and then they would come back and finding it totally different, like lights and cranes and everything rearranged. Ever since then, even after the renovations ended, staff here at the Civic Center, almost exclusively staff, have seen a figure that they've nicknamed the Gray Man ever since. It's a man, a malish figure wearing a gray suit and a fedora hat, seen backstage or in sound booth areas or other staff-only areas. One story has one man working all alone at night, backstage, and he felt a force pushing down the stairs. And when he got back up, he saw that a door had been opened across from him and was now closing if someone had just left.
Whoa.
Yeah, another fun story is that on the fourth floor, they've got some admin offices.
Oh.
And one night, a woman was working alone again, all alone by herself, no one else in the building. And she saw a man in a gray fedora hat pass by her office window. She got to tell him that he wasn't allowed to be there, but when she opened the door, he was gone. She was in the middle of the hallway. This doesn't really make sense for her to have not seen or hear him move, yeah?
Right. Cool.
Another fun story happened here in about 2014. So a local Satanist group rented out one of these music halls for what's called a black mass or reverse exorcism.
Ooh.
It's basically meant to be a parody of a Catholic mass. But instead of trying to summon the Holy Spirit, you're trying to expel the Holy Spirit out of somebody. It has burlesque, it has cloaks and daggers, it had heavy metal, all things that are very controversial here in Belt Buckle, the Bible Belt, Oklahoma. As you can imagine, there was a lot of protests about it. There was a lot of letters and calls sent to City Hall. But, of course, medical protections meant they couldn't really do anything about it. Sorry. It's a loud city.
Yeah.
For such a sparse city, it's a very loud city.
Very loud.
But yeah, on the day of, there were a ton of people lined up outside protesting the event.
Really?
In fact, the Catholic Church here, the local diocese, tried to sue them because they bought a genuine Eucharistic wafer from them, the Satanist group.
Oh.
And they were going to burn it during the ritual, which would have been a big no-no. So, in order to avoid that headache, they just gave the bread back and used regular black bread.
Oh.
Fun fact about this part is that it's a sold-out show. However, only a third of the seats ended up actually having people in them. Which tells me some people were so mad they wanted to buy tickets just to make sure no one else could, which was kind of fun.
Right.
That's about it for this location. Let's head to the next one.
Awesome.
So people don't realize that priests said they're often disproportionate targets of violence.
Oh, wow. So is this the guy?
No, that's Jesus.
Oh.
I don't think so.
That is you. Huh?
But you see, what happened to Richard Dolan was priests are often targets of violence because they're often on the front line trying to get people to leave gangs or treat themselves for addictions, which is not very popular with drug dealers or gang leaders. So they're often targets that kind of person, you know. Richard Dolan, unfortunately, was no exception. In the late 80s, early 80s, he was attacked by a grown man, teenage boy with a baseball bat and almost set on fire.
Oh, wow.
His descriptions of his attackers are really vague, so a lot of people think that he probably knew who attacked him, but didn't want to get him in trouble because there was someone who needed help in the past.
Wow.
A few years later, he was found in Murray's apartment. No sense for entry, door unlocked, so again, probably someone he knew and at one point trusted. It's really sad. After that, the main artery was shut down, and ever since then, it's been left to rot. Now it's a very popular urban exploration spot. It might be a good place for your YouTube channel, maybe.
Okay.
It's got graffiti walls, got crumbling ceilings. all the spooky stuff.
Wow.
A lot of people report lots of strange things there, like they'll hear growling in their ears, or they'll feel a cold burst of air on them. Footsteps. Some have even reported finding scratch marks on their bodies after they've left. No memory or explanation.
Wow. And it's called the main artery?
It was called the main artery, yes.
Main artery.
I'm not sure if that's what they call the building now, but like that's what it used to be called.
Wow. Really cool.
When the last time this church was renovated, it was in 1986, because just a year earlier, the Murrah building attack occurred right across the street.
So Merv?
The Murrah building. You know, Timothy McVeigh and what he did then?
No.
That's like the big OKC bombing here that you always hear about.
Oh,
Yeah, so,
in Oklahoma City, that's right. There was
exactly,
a bombing. There was a big bombing.
Yeah.
That's right.
It didn't just destroy that building; it also damaged a lot of neighboring buildings, like this one. All the really old glass windows shattered. The organ was damaged, and the roof jumped off its hinges and fell back down, so the pews were covered in plaster.
Wow.
As part of the renovations, they put up a miniature memorial across from the official national memorial.
Uh-huh.
Each one of these empty holes is one of the people who died during the attack. Speaking of which, that's our next location right across the street. Here.
Oh my gosh, cool.
Yeah.
All these holes represent people that died, guys. So sad. Just gonna leave on my camera. Let me see if I can zoom in. Very small. And my guys, this is where the bombing happened.
Before I show you the memorial proper, I'd show you this little corner of it. So,
Okay.
The bombing occurred on April 22nd, 1995 by Timothy McVeigh with the assistance of Terry Nichols. Before I tell you about them, I want to call attention to the basically the survivor fence.
The survivor fence. Okay.
I don't remember that's the official name, but that's what I kind of call it. Basically, after the attack, authorities put a chain link fence around the perimeter to make sure no one could come in and get hurt or tamper with evidence. But almost immediately when it happened, people started putting up little mementos for people who died, or people who survived, or rescue workers.
Wow.
And even after all the construction was over, they decided to leave part of it up so it was too safe people can still add things. Like,
That's so
you'll see a lot of like tributes to people who died in the attack here, a lot of like shrines.
Wow. So sad, guys. It's amazing that they still do it today. Wow. Sorry, my hands are shaking.
This was, we had our 30th anniversary just last year, or just this year, excuse me. But 30 years really isn't a long time when you really think about it.
No,
It's like
really.
most people still have people living relatives alive who knew them and
Yep.
loved them. So it's a monument for them.
Very sad. You get a shot of it.
So this building used to be the Oklahoma Journal-Record. It used to be the building right across the street from the Murrah building.
Oh.
So it was really convenient actually to have a newspaper right across from the attack. Because
Yeah.
they could really update it in real time. A lot of people really got damaged. Some got hurt. They still working to cover it.
Wow.
So, reason why Timothy McVeigh committed the attack was basically he was a far-right activist. And he was heavily inspired by a novel called The Turner Diaries. It's a novel that's fictional dystopia that's really popular in white supremacist circles.
Okay.
It's about a white-blooded American patriot blowing up the FBI building in Washington, D.C. with a truck bomb.
Wow.
And in doing so, he starts what's called in the novel The Day of the Rope, which is such a civil war in the United States that ends with white people again on top of racial hierarchy.
Okay.
And basically that was kind of the main goal that McVeigh wanted. McVeigh was really resentful of people of different races because he was a very decorated Army veteran. In fact, that was a big point of shock for people. A lot of people were shocked that like somebody who served his country was now attacking it. But one of the big motivators for him was that he tried to get into Green Berets, but like he couldn't really make the cut. Because most people who try can't make the cut because it's like the best of the best.
Right.
But he built a lot of resentment because he convinced himself that the reason he didn't get in because he was a minority. You know,
Oh.
that's kind of what he told himself, and he's kind of hoping to change his perceptions with this attack. Another reason why I chose this specific day, April 19th, is because just a year prior in Waco, Texas, there was a Waco incident. So, in that time, there was a cultist compound in Waco, Texas, and they were violating a lot of firearms regulations. And so they were in a tense standoff with the FBI. The FBI was like literally parked right outside the perimeter, ready to storm in. And during that standoff, a lot of people, there was a lot of sympathy for them from like right-wing circles. So a lot of people drove down all the way to Waco to protest outside the compound on their behalf.
Oh. And
one of those people was actually Timothy McVeigh. He drove all the way from the Midwest down to Texas. And we actually have a newspaper interview of him during that incident right here, a full year before he committed the attack. So it was really unique, insightful way to look at his mentality before the attack even happened.
Wow.
And the journalist obviously had no idea that just a year later he would be on every newspaper everywhere. So yeah, basically, eventually on Waco, FBI eventually stormed, and it was a really botched operation, and a lot of people, including a lot of children of the cultists, ended up dying. And McVeigh was so outraged and moved by destruction that day, he thought it was justified for him to do something like this. And he chose the day April 19th because it was just a year later after the attack. He dated it to be like an act of revenge, you know? On a lighter note here, after the attack, Presidents Bill and Hillary Clinton, they did a press conference for the Children of America, and Hillary Clinton suggested that children across America and across the world make art or write letters to send to Oklahoma to show the people there that they're thinking of them.
How cute.
And thousands of children from all over did exactly that, and we got some of them preserved right here. That was nice.
The little hands.
Exactly, yeah. It's a nice.
All right.
Up to your left, you'll see a survivor tree. Yeah, so what we're sitting on right now, this used to be a general record, but this whole area between here and the water used to be a parking lot.
Oh.
Yeah, and that tree, surrounded by that big stone circle, that used to be just a regular tree in the parking lot, but it was heavily impacted by a piece of shrapnel during the attack.
Wow.
And a lot of people thought it wouldn't be able to survive, but it ended up going around the shrapnel, and now it's thriving. And a lot of people see it as a symbol for Oklahoma's resilience in the face of the attack. That's why it's called the survivor tree. Yeah, exactly. All the trees on this lawn next to it, these are all Oklahoma redbud trees. That's our state tree.
Oh.
And it's meant to represent the immediate response by Oklahomans to the attack. And all the trees on this lawn represent the national and international response to the attack.
Wow. That's really cool.
So to the left, you'll see 901. And we say that's the minute that innocence ended. So right you'll see 903.
Oh.
And in between all these things, the lives lost because of the explosion at 902.
Wow.
And we know it's at 902 because inside that museum they actually have a recording. In a neighboring building, the Water Council building, they were holding a meeting for groundwater rights between civilians. And the meeting started at 9 o'clock, and bureaucratic meetings were recording. In the first 2 minutes of that recording, it's very bureaucratic sounding woman calling the meeting to order, explaining what will happen. But then 2 minutes in, you'll hear explosions and screaming, and people telling people how to evacuate from the building.
Wow.
So that's how we know exactly what occurred. All these empty chairs represent one log's life during the attack. It shows empty chairs, which represent empty spaces and free tables all across the
Yeah.
you see where there's a lot of like the chairs are clustered?
Yes.
That's actually where he parks the truck bar. They drove around this side past 903. And up there, this used to be the road where the water is now.
For the water.
19 of the seats are smaller than the rest, and then 19 children died.
19 children.
Yeah, American State there, ironically enough, his name was part of it.
Wow.
The big plans didn't know it was there, but most people didn't.
No, I don't believe him.
Up to the right, we also there's each one is set aside with a specific victim in mind, and their name is engraved.
Wow.
Up to the right, you'll see Rebecca Anderson. Now, she was an off-duty nurse who, like a lot of Oklahomans, immediately she dropped everything to rescue people from the rubble, off-duty, unofficially. And after she rescued 2 people from the rubble, as she was rescuing a third person, a piece of debris fell on her head and gave her brain injury. She died 2 days later.
Wow.
She's the only person to have died during the rescue effort. Or the only rescue worker who died. Fortunately, we don't really see. This is a very peaceful, tranquil place, and all the ghost stories seem to reflect that. We never hear of McVeigh or anything like that around here.
Okay.
He was the first federal execution since 1967 in 2001.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry,
No,
I
it's
shouldn't
okay.
say that, but
It's
this
okay.
is just the most awful thing I've ever heard.
It's the biggest domestic
so sad.
terror incident in United States history. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Another kind of a morbid fun fact of Oklahoma is that we're not only the biggest domestic terror incident, but the biggest state-sanctioned terror incident, the Tulsa race massacre.
Wow. In Tulsa too?
Exactly. My cousin of the U.S.
Wow.
But yeah, almost all the ghost stories involve children being seen around here, like children who died in the attack, and they're usually seen by other children.
Oh.
A lot of people think children are more capable of seeing ghosts because
They
they're
are.
connected to like before time.
Mm-hmm. I think they are. I really
makes
truly
sense.
believe
And even if they're not, often more like intelligent, they're just less afraid of not being believed.
that. Exactly.
It's a very tranquil space, and the interactions seem to reflect that.
Yeah.
The way McVeigh was caught is kind of interesting. It's a lot easier than a lot of people would probably expect. So, after he blew up the truck bomb, they found a piece of shrapnel from the truck a few miles from here with the big goal identification number on it. And he traced the VIN number, the VIN, to the rental shop he got from in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And while he used a fake name there and fake ID, by the way, he used a fake ID there, and he had his birthday as the date this attack would happen, April 19th. It's like a morbid calling to it.
Wow.
But yeah, he used a fake ID, but he got a description of him. And they bought the description from motels around the area. And he was recognized by someone at the motel he was staying. And he accidentally used his real ID when he meant to use his fake ID. So that's how he got his real name. They put on an APB form, and it turns out he was already in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, so during his getaway, in his getaway car, he took off the license plate. But because he thought it would be harder for him to be tracked without it.
Uh-huh.
But it's illegal to drive without a license plate, so he got pulled over. He might have been let off with a warning if he weren't suspected the highway patrolman noticed he had a concealed carry on it. While he had a license for it in New York City, in New York State, he didn't have it for Oklahoma. So that's illegal. Ironically, he was taken to jail, and ironically enough, he usually would have been processed the same day. But there's so many people who was like too busy handling the attack that they had to keep him overnight because he just been processed in time.
Wow.
Which gave the investigators more time to figure out who he really was.
Nice.
And APB was put in for him exactly when he was being escorted to the courtyard, where he would have been probably let go with time served. So it really came in the nick of time.
It really did. Shows you can't get away with evil.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is presentation. Let's move on.
Okay.
I see that wall around the feet.
Yes.
Those are actually part of the original building. They didn't want to leave little aspects of the rubble behind, so they didn't completely sanitize it. You know, want to remind people just how the structure was.
109, guys. Water. What's that? No building. Right here?
Yes, so this hotel, the land it's on, used to be owned by the Oberholzer family. They were one of the founding families of OKC. The patriarch Henry Oberholzer, he came down here from Michigan, and he got land during Land Run, where he built this building. He met Anna Ione during here. He was about 40 when he moved down here, and she was about 18. They got married, and they had a daughter together, also named Henry, which, side note, I think it's very funny. I think it's already kind of weird when a man names his son for himself, but it's even weirder if he names his daughter after himself, you know? Not even Henrietta, just Henry.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but anyway, eventually they built what is now known as the Oberholzer Mansion Museum.
Okay.
It was one of the first mansions in this part of the country. Henry died in the 1920s, but by that point Anna was only in her 40s, so she still had a lot of living left to do, a lot of partying left to do.
Okay.
She was really well known as like a big socialite hostess during her time. She died in about the 50s, and her daughter died in about the 60s, and after that her widow left it to the Oklahoma Historical Society. So now it's a museum preserving what life was like during that time period for like the upper classes, you know.
Wow.
A lot of the stories come from Kathy Dickinson, a former curator at the museum. She said that one day a visitor came up to her and said, "Hey, Anna says she wants her Bible back." And she didn't know what that visitor meant, so she asked around, and the curator said, "Oh, well, we actually did move a Bible from Anna's nightstand into her closet." And so he just put it back for her.
Wow.
Another fun story. One night, Kevin Dickinson was walking up shop, and she heard music coming from the ballroom. And so she went to investigate, but then it stopped, and she started hearing it coming from the library. So she went over to the library. Then she heard it coming from the ballroom again, and the library again, and the ballroom again. And eventually she said, "All right, Anna, I guess you have friends over. Have fun." So she locked up and went home.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
That's so cool.
I highly recommend the Oberholzer Museum. I believe they have their own ghost tours there, too.
Okay.
That's about it for this location. Next one's right across the street.
Awesome. Show you guys real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's the Devon Energy Tower.
Oh, where? Right here?
Right there, that's the biggest building in Oklahoma.
Oh my god.
Have you heard about Legend Sound?
No.
They say it's going to be a new building that they're literally building in Bricktown. They say it's to be 1,907 feet tall, so for instance, imagine Devon Tower. Now, second Devon Tower on top.
Oh my god.
And another 200 feet, that's how big they say it's going to be.
Oh my god.
I'm rooting for it. I think it'll be a really hilarious skyline if it comes to pass. It'll be like the idea of a city that's mostly flat.
Uh-huh.
One skyscraper, one super mega.
What do you do? Skyscraper? There's the haunted house. Oh, it's beautiful. How do you say? Oh, it's so beautiful, guys. And Henry as a girl's name. I love it.
It can work, it's just like don't name it after yourself.
Right.
So, this here is the Premier Botanical Garden, so we're not curious as to what is currently on it, but what used to be underneath it.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of a Chinese underground?
No.
So, they're basically Chinatowns before Chinatowns were allowed to exist.
Wow.
The first big migration of Chinese people to mainland U.S. came during the gold rush of California, but they often didn't find much luck with gold like most white people didn't. So they ended up going into like menial labor jobs like agriculture, railroad construction. And even though they were largely taking jobs that white people didn't want, they were still blamed for taking those jobs. There's a lot of xenophobia against them. History is a flat circle, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, they passed the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1886. This is exactly what it sounds like. It makes all migration from China illegal, and any Chinese person, even if you were born here, you'd have to have a piece of paper with you at all times or else you'd be deported.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah. So what a lot of Chinese communities did is that in cities where there was a lot of them, they literally went underground. They dug tunnels underneath where they lived and worked so that they could sleep during the day and come out to work during the night. OKC was home to one of those underground Chinese towns because we had a big Chinese population because a lot of people moved inland because at the time Oklahoma was a territory, not a state, so immigration was more lax here.
Okay.
Eventually, though, unfortunately, the Chinese underground was able to come above ground during the 1940s when China became an ally against Japan during World War II.
Okay.
And during that period, Chinese-American activist named Willie Hong came to prominence. He taught a lot of lectures, wrote a lot of articles for Chinese-American rights. Eventually, he was a big prominent name here. Eventually, he moved back to Nanking, his hometown, that got massacred during World War II by the Imperial Army. And he went back to help like getting a degree in physiotherapy to help with floor recovery effort. He kind of drops off the historical record after that, but eventually he came back because his gravestone is here and his obituary is here.
Okay.
Ever since then, he said to haunt some of the buildings around here, like the local libraries. He's often seen perusing the shelves, and some of the convention centers and stadiums here, like in this convention center. But yeah, so in this convention center, one day a woman was visiting from China for a meeting, and she got lost. She turned around, she came across this kindly old Chinese man in 1940s clothes, and he said to her in perfect Mandarin if she needed directions. She was able to give her directions she needed, and as she thanked him, she turned away, but she couldn't resist the urge to ask him what part of China he was from. So she turned around and he was gone. Okay. That's exactly what I would do as a ghost. So I would just Batman people all the time. I think it'd be really funny. But yeah.
Help them out and disappear.
Exactly, just like him out of it.
I love it.
That's about it for this location. The last one, Servants, just go back. It's one of the first luxury hotels in Oklahoma. Some of its guests included presidents like Reagan or Eisenhower, or musicians like Presley and Elvis.
Wow.
Presley and Sinatra. Presley and Elvis were the same person.
Oh yeah, I got it. Sinatra.
Oh yeah. Most of the ghost stories revolve around the guy who founded it, William Skirvin. So William Skirvin was a well-known playboy, party animal kind of guy. The 10th floor used to be his own personal penthouse, and a quarter of it was sectioned off to be speakeasy during the Prohibition era. So he and his rich buddies could drink, smoke, gamble, sort with easy women, that kind of thing. Yeah. Johnny Law breathing on their neck.
Oh.
Like he's kind of a playboy, and he had a liaison. It said, "What is chambermaid's Ellie?"
Oh.
He wasn't married, but a lot of people think Ellie was African American or indigenous.
Okay.
And so when she was impregnated by the encounter, and she told him, he panicked and he locked her up in the closet on his personal floor until he could figure out what to do. He does not figure out what to do for 9 months, and then she gives birth. Because that's what happens. He's pretty well in a long time.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And she's like, "Surely you're gonna let us out now, right?" And he's like, "I'm not really sure still what I want to do about this, so let me stew on it for a little while." And eventually, inspiration, she crawls out the window with the book in hand, and hello, what is this? And she
Oh, she comments 10 stories.
yeah, maybe.
Oh, baby.
Now, this is a book, so it's not for sure if it really happened. However, anyone who covered it up and put it straight with another story relates to Skirvin. So before I tell you that, they say that lately, especially on the 10th floor, a lot of people report doors slamming, windows opening, babies crying, which sounds normal in a hotel, right? But
Nah.
the thing is that a lot of people who reported these things were actually NBA players. See, this is the go-to hotel for away teams facing the OKC Thunder. And when that happens, the NBA rents out entire second floor of the hotel for just the NBA team, so they don't have to deal with superfans. So that brings us the question: if it's just a floor filled with like sweaty, huge dudes, why do they hear baby crying? They didn't bring a baby with them.
No,
that's not the lifestyle. So it's
definitely not.
Another fun story, quote unquote fun, related to William Skirvin. It said at one point he lost a bet and drunkenly he pulled out his gun and shot a woman of easy virtue at the speakeasy. She died, and said that ever since then, young men staying at the hotel have heard seductive whispers in their ears, or felt presences climb into bed. One of the NBA players said that he saw a full frontal apparition in the shower. It was apparently pretty handy.
Yeah. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We are at the Civic Center Music Hall. This is where our tour began. This is one of the haunted buildings behind me. I hope you guys liked the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and comment below and tell me everything you guys thought about the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Love you guys so much. Thanks. Bye.